Apple Glass revolutionizes AR experience. Apple just unveiled a device that could replace your iPhone, your Mac, and maybe even your reality. Today, we're diving into Apple Glass and why it might be the biggest shift in consumer tech since the smartphone. From sci-fi fantasy to wearable reality, Apple's AR glasses are finally here, and they're about to change everything. For years, AR felt like a gimmick. Pokemon Go, Fun.Snap spectacles, a novelty. Google Glass, dead on arrival. But Apple watched, learned, and waited. And now they're stepping in with a product that's sleek, powerful, and deeply integrated into the Apple ecosystem. This isn't a prototype. It's not a toy. It's a polished, consumer-ready leap into a future where digital and physical worlds collide seamlessly. Let's break down how Apple Glass could quietly become the most ambitious and disruptive product Apple has released in over a decade, and why it might just replace the iPhone itself. Chapter 1. Apple Glass, the invisible computer. Apple Glass can be recognized by an ordinary pair of fashionable glasses, but actually this device has the strength of a small supercomputer. Apple is not trying to bring a spectacle to this new device. Rather, they have made it such that it fits in their daily life. As opposed to the bulky AR headsets that have been tried previously, Apple Glass is a product of style, comfort, and no time limits. It superimposes digital information directly in your line of sight, providing heads-up route directions, messages, weather alerts, and other information, all without removing your cell phone. The hardware will consist of micro-LED internally integrated displays within the lenses, with sensor and spatial technology borrowed from the iPhone and Vision Pro. These glasses will probably feature a streamlined version of Vision OS that you would get to use by movements of your eyes as well as through their minute hand signs and voice assistant through Siri. No bulkiness, intricacy, or battery life concerns. And definitely not a replacement of the senses, but merely an enhancement of them when you add an extended reality. This is not the case that Apple is simply producing a new product. They are even repatterning our whole relationship with technology. Chapter 2. The Vision Pro was just the beginning. When Apple released the Vision Pro, the advanced spatial computing was called the future. It became a headline with its immersive environments, 3D applications, and the movie-like graphics. However, it was remarkable as it cost users $3,499, a sum of money which most users could not afford. Apple Glass, however, is the same futuristic technology available to the masses, but in a much more user-friendly form factor. Where the Vision Pro would make you feel like you are in a mixed reality world, Apple Glass would augment the existing one. Apple is enabling the real-world AR experiences through miniaturizing the spatial sensors and displays to bring them into your daily life. Consider the scenario where you visit your city and you find that the street signs have displays giving you an exact translation, the product descriptions in the store you are visiting in the shopping mall, or messages that you look at and they pop up. Apple Glass is not about substituting your world. It is a matter of replacing it, and in that, it transforms the AR to a necessity of everyday life instead of a hobby technology. The trailer was the Vision Pro. The feature film is Apple Glass. Chapter 3. Seamless integration with Apple ecosystem. This has always been the hidden strength of Apple. Whether it's iPhone, MacBook, Apple Watch, or AirPods, all the devices sync together. Apple Glass will become the hub of this ecosystem and bring to perfection. It is a visual extension of your iPhone, a spatial dashboard to your notifications, and a real-time assistant that floats in your line of sight. Apple Glass, through the use of ultra-wideband technology, can sense the location of your other devices within three-dimensional space. An example would be this. When you have a call in your Mac, the caller's ID can be shown to you in the glasses. When you find yourself listening to music on your AirPods, there are some chances you might see the song details in the corner of the eye. Siri gets intelligent, contextual, and hands-free literally. Apple Glass transforms the world around you to be a curated command center, and it does so without disrupting the organic nature of your life. Chapter 4. Affordable AR? Apple's pricing strategy might surprise you. Apple has been frequently associated with high-end and premium-priced products, but the Apple Glass may just be the product that changes that perception. Apple Glass is likely to be much less costly than the Vision Pro, which is a luxury AR headset designed to demonstrate the future. It will be sold at a price lower than $499, but could be within the range that includes $799. That is a game changer. It puts the AR technology of Apple in the availability of students, creatives, professionals, and the average consumers who could not afford to buy the expensive headsets. As a matter of fact, it may be the easiest to attain AR products available in a market of a prominent tech company. And how then is Apple managing this feat? The trick is offloading. Apple Glass will not be a computer in itself. Rather, it will depend upon your iPhone to do all the heavy lifting processing, storing, and powering apps. This makes them allow the glasses to be very small, lighter, cooler, and considerably cheaper. The second piece is precisely what Apple did with the Apple Watch. Make a great-looking, wearable UI that is in perfect harmony with an iPhone in your pocket. Not only is it smart, but it is scalable too. And should Apple Glass come good, it might reset consumer expectations about what an AR device has to look like, at least insofar as it involves lightweight wearable gadgets. Chapter 5. Everyday use cases that actually make sense. The final aspect why Apple Glass is the best among other AR devices is that Apple is bringing it to a real-world experience instead of just a gimmick. It is not the quest to play 3D games in the air or demonstrate some futuristic animations. It is merely the incorporation of technology into a human life being applied in small and impactful manners. Apple Glass will help facilitate work that you are already performing and make it easier and more natural. Just imagine yourself in a foreign land. You are reading the street signs or looking at the menu card in a restaurant, and automatic translations rise out in front of your eyes. Or imagine that you are cooking and not needing to read your phone or recipe book. Each step of your recipe appears in your vision unblemished, hand-free, and in your eyeline. Use cases do not end there. Just by getting a message, you can give a sideways glance and dictate your short but sweet answer without a finger on the key. Your Apple Watch reminds you it is time to stand your glasses, then automatically propose a stretching regime. Moving through an unknown hood, Apple Glass might assist you on the way, or to your car, or find some people around you in real time. It is the matter of getting rid of friction. You do not have to pick up your phone dozens of times a day. Instead, the world is full of information wherever you want to be. Chapter 6. Apple versus Meta. The race for your reality. Meta has invested billions of dollars in augmented and virtual reality over years, but with mixed success. What products, such as the Meta Quest, do possess is impressive VR experiences, but they are chunky and not terribly wearable on a daily basis. Ray-Ban Stories will work with limited features, and this is how they will be stylish, but the adoption is not significant. Apple has done just the opposite in contrast. Instead of selling, they waited and just developed the main technologies off-scene, perfecting sensors, displays, chips, and privacy systems. At last, they have entered the AR game, not only with a product, but with the full polished vision of Apple Glass, which will come with the built-up trust, elegance, and energy. The business model is one of the greatest opportunities that Apple has. Whereas Meta is more reliant on ad revenue and user information, Apple sells products as opposed to selling you. This puts Apple Glass in a huge lead of consumer trust. Knowing it is not uploading most of the data to the cloud and not following the individual to display highly personalized advertisements will lead people to wear a smart device on their face throughout the day. Apple Glass is another security-first vision rooted in the personalities of Face ID and HealthKit. Where Meta has identified AR as an entertainment and advertising platform, Apple has identified it as an all-day utility. It is that fundamental contrast that could characterize the future of wearable technology. Chapter 7. The technology that makes it all work. The secret behind the workings of Apple Glass, however, is the fact that a number of technologies have joined forces. These are things which the company has worked on over the years. It begins with display technology. Higher resolution visuals such as micro LED or waveguide displays allow overlapping of the visual information on what you can see in the real world without hindering it. These are clear, bright, and energy efficient to use on an everyday basis. Then there are the sensors. With cameras and SLAM, simultaneous localization and mapping, around which it has integrated LiDAR spatial awareness in Apple. Glass is able to cognize your space in real time. Eye tracking enables the system to know what you are looking at to allow you to have context-aware activities. Throw in the hand gesture interaction and the voice input, and you have an interface that can be so natural, intuitive, and almost non-existent. All these are fueled by Apple Silicon, which is probably a derivative of the U1 chip powering the AirTags, or a new generation of A-series processor specific to highly low-powered AR applications. The outcome is a pair of spectacles that appears magical, but are based on decades of fine-tuning of engineering. Chapter 8. Why Apple Glass might replace the iPhone. That is a far stretch, though some analysts think Apple Glass has the potential to replace the iPhone itself one day. So when you come to think about it, it makes sense. Why would anyone retreat back to pull out the slab of glass when the world could be your interface? Your applications, contacts, maps, and messages might be everywhere with Apple Glass, and you could be able to access them using a glance or a gesture. Apple Glass may allow AR calls, real-time holograms, or 3D manipulation of objects as the technology matures. Generative AI integrated in the system can provide you with smart summaries, real-time responses, or AI-guided navigation. The combination of wearable tech, AI, and spatial computing has the potential one day to be more of a potent force than any smartphone previously. Apple was never about riding a past wave. It was always about riding the next paradigm: the mouse, the iPhone, the AirPods. Apple Glass might be next, but not as something new, but an addition to the new normal. And now you know Apple Glass isn't just a gadget. It's the doorway to a world where reality and technology live side by side, and your eyes are the controller. The iPhone changed how we use our hands. Apple Glass might just change how we use our world.